Hello and welcome to another video in the Space Marines how to build series that I'm doing here. Thanks for joining me. I'm Proxy and this is the fourth video, and today we're going to try to make as much headway as we can with the rest of the squad. Yesterday we managed to complete the... Oh, let's grab that guy there. Yesterday we managed to complete this fellow, the standard bearer, or the ancient as he's called. I prefer to call them standard bearers, or you know, the well, not the flag carriers, but you know, generally speaking, I just like to use a different name than the ones given to them officially by Games Workshop. But you know, we had a lot of finicky attempts at that yesterday, trying to get the eagle motif. Oh, let's get the focus going. We had loads of finicky attempts trying to get the eagle motif attached to the flag, the banner, and then getting it attached to the power pack of our Space Marine here. Finally, we managed to do that. Some nice light. There we go. So he's complete now, and he's ready to get the spray primer paint on him. So we're going to give that a go once the rest of the team's together. So let's leave them to this bad boy to the side. There we go. Next to the Terminator captain over there, we've got one of the squad members ready to go here. This guy is going to be considered the lowest rank ultramarine in this tactical squad. I mean, as an ultramarine, you're already a 7-foot Goliath of a super soldier, but still, this guy is going to be, you know, the lowest rank of them all in my tactical squad. And now we're going to start building some of his mates. So for today, the plan is to get all the legs out, all the chest pieces, and get them affixed to the base. So we have the rest of the squad ready to go with all the legs and the bases. And then the only things we need to do is choose the shoulder, the head, and the arms and positioning of the weapons, etc. So for today, we're going to get rest of the legs out and get that all affixed so that we have all the legs and the main bodies of all the rest of the squad ready to go. So let's get started. This is roughly well, I think it's like my fourth or fifth video. I'm not sure anymore, kind of lost count, but it's still my first week of making videos. And I'm thoroughly having a lot of fun. The comments and the views that I've been getting have been really, really positive, which is really nice. But you know, starting out fresh in 2020, late to the party, but hey, it's better late than never. So let's start cutting up some pieces. One other thing that arrived today was the file set that I ordered from China. They finally arrived. I left them in quarantine for a few days, separate from myself. Just left them in the box so that you know, they were sitting aside for 3 days, just doing nothing. And now finally I took them out of the box, and this is one of the first files that I have. Very, very nice quality file, I feel. So the rest of them are different shapes. This is just a flat file. As you can see, rectangular edges, and the rest of them have curved and triangular shapes and flat sides and etc. So we've got a variety of files so that we can get some cleaning with most of the mold lines that we have. Right. So remaining legs, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 8 more guys that we can build. Just checking to see if there aren't any more legs past that 8. No, rest are shoulder pads. We got some chest pieces here, power packs, and all the head permutations that you can choose from along the top row there. So without further ado, let's start cutting out some legs. For now, I haven't got anything other than a you know, what are these called? Safety knives, I suppose, with a slant blade, cutting knives. So we're going a hobby knife, I guess you could call it as well. So I'm just going to use this for now, and I'm still waiting for the clippers to come so that we can take all these pieces out safely. Right, so we're just going to work from the bottom and head to our way to the top. Let's move the bases out of the way. There we go. Right, let's start with the bottommost row. Just going to get myself into a comfortable position so I can cut carefully. And let's actually move this sticky thing out of the way, which I use to do some spray painting with. Let's get the base aside as well. And how about we give you guys a zoomed in view as we do this cutting. There we go. That seems a bit better. So let's get these legs out. I'm going to give myself some space over there. So just going to be very careful and cut away from the model itself, since right now we don't have anything else to work with, and it's been very impatient waiting for the rest of the equipment to arrive. There we go. Nice and clean. Had a bit of practice, obviously. I've done the first 3 models, so I feel quite comfortable using the hobby knife nowadays. Whereas when I was starting out, I was very, very slow and trying to be careful so that I didn't damage the model itself. So I'm just going to leave a little bit of excess on this guy here. Well, maybe we can just cut it there. Just going to leave a little bit of excess, just so. There we go. Popped out. Right, there we go. With loads of extra flex from the rest of the sprue. Let's go get these bits off little by little. Move the big sprue out of the way. Set this down here. I'm going to very carefully, let's put his feet on the bottom side. And we're just going to cut these bits off like so. So that little flick, the little tip bit there isn't there anymore. And these feet are actually slightly different. He's got the grooves on the boot there, and he's got the flat side. That little area there is where he's going to get glued, but the boot is actually going to stay standing up, so it looks like he's kind of got his toes on the ground, but not the heel. So let's get this bit off, cutting that bit away. I just want to make sure I have a good view of it myself with my own eyes. And I'm trying to see if I can get it into camera view as well. That seems pretty good. Let's move the light over so you guys can actually get some better light. Put the light down a bit, brighten it up as well. Seems about right. Coolio. Let's have a look, see. Okay. Finally do some cutting. Okay. I'm going to put the knife flat along the foot of the boot, I guess, the bottom of the boot. I'm just going to cut downwards. There we go. That came through really nice. Really easily. Let's have a look there. Quite flat. We're going to file that down later. Just move these little flecks out of the way from the sprue. The rest of the stuff that we're not going to use. I'm going to cut it like this, just to give myself some extra traction by holding the rest of the piece there. Let's bring this in the center of camera view for you guys. Cutting flat, keeping the blade flat along the shoe, bottom of the shoe. And then we're just going to slide the blade along that bit there. Now there's a little extra segment left there, but we're going to have to file that away rather than trying to cut it, I think. Let's see. Can you see that? There's quite a bit that's hanging off there, so let's try to cut that away. Oh, that came off quite well. I think the rest we're definitely going to leave to filing. As you can see, there's no more excess left there. There we go, crumbs and crumbs and crumbs. Okay, and now for the rounded hip area. Let's see how we're going to do this one. I think I'm going to just put it against the board again. Cutting board, and we're just going to cut downwards. Very gently. There we go, look at that. Nice and easy. No damage, perfect curve at the top there. Yeah, quite flat. Let's see the other piece. This is what came off. Didn't take any of the other piece with it, so we still conserved it. And anyways, this is where the glue is going to be applied for the torso to be attached. So we're not too worried about this side. Alright, legs number 1 sorted. Let's get the sprue back. Let's get this piece out. Leg permutation 10. I'm just going to, again, just cut so I'm not in view. There we go. Now we're back in view. Just going to cut so we're far away from the model itself, of course. And there we go. Very nice. Just cutting really far away from the feet. Cutting mostly into the sprue. Staying really, really far away from any important areas that are going to end up being part of the miniature itself. There we go. He popped out. Alright, let's clean this up. Now, right now, obviously, I'm just filming this long form. Just to get the footage online, step by step, every single thing that I've done from beginning to end, so you guys can see everything. Obviously, during the state of the world that we're in, there's a lot of people just sitting at home, so not being able to do anything, and Games Workshop hasn't been delivering anything. So if you needed to kind of have a place to hang out and you know, see some hobbying being done, I thought I'd start streaming what I was doing here by building this start collecting set. I've been having a lot of fun with it, and hopefully you guys get to live vicariously, or at the very least have some no, that's not going to work that way, so we're going to just put it back down. We're going to cut downwards like that along the bottom of the shoe. I'm going to put the blade flat against the foot. Or am I? Has he got one of those toe situation? No, this foot is flat without any grooves on the bottom of the foot. So I'm just going to put the blade against the foot. I'm going to cut downwards. There we go. Quite a deep groove in there. Right. Let's have a look at the feet. This side's going to have to be filed, and the other side's, yeah, we're going to file both of them down a bit anyways. Let's see if this can be peeled away a touch. No, that doesn't seem too effective. Right, this one, get that there. Let's get that on camera. Keep forgetting to do that sometimes. My bad. Right, so as I was saying, I'm going to get the whole film going, get everything filmed, obviously, showing everything being done, and then when it comes to editing and cutting things down, I'm going to go through my footage again and just make short snippet videos as well, 5-minute guides and stuff like that. Obviously going to keep the long form online, but we're also going to have short 5-minute videos for those who want to just get the information, but you know, don't want to have to sit through hours of footage to get the pertinent stuff. But this knife is quite slippery in my hands right now. I wonder why that is. Yeah, that seems pretty good. So we're going to file that away. 2 feet, 2 legs, all good to go. Right, let's get the next legs. Yep, just working our way up from bottom to top. Loads of empty segments here. So let's get this one here down. End of the week, Friday. It's always a nice feeling leaving work on a Friday, you know, handing in the last little bit. I work as an engineer at the moment. It's a good paying job, hard work, but it's really good. Working with blueprints and stuff. Building, yeah. Actually, I might not go into detail about what I'm building. Well, I'm just an engineer. And when I come home, I guess building these models seems to be a massive getaway from work. Right, there seems to be a lot of excess on all of these, so let's get these pieces off. Again, going to hold the blade on the flat of the foot, and then we're just going to apply the pressure so it just cuts flat along there. Let's put the toes down on the bottom side, blade flat against the foot, and cutting straight downwards for this foot at least, because this foot is flat. There we go, and we're going to do some filing away to get rid of that little slope that's on his foot there. Lots of messiness. Let's get this down. But now this foot, he's got the back of his foot raised, so only half of the foot is actually touching the ground per se when he's attached to the base. So I'm going to try to hold it at a slight side angle and cut it sideways like that. Oh, that came out really well. Okay. And then we're just going to file this down later, make sure So that's nice and tidy. Now let's get this bit off the hips. Move these flecks of sprue away. Right, hip piece. Just gonna put it that way and slide down. Woohoo! Look at that. Nice clean cut. This is always quite easy to do. Now all of these are gonna have to get filed down in a while. I think one of the things that I heard about filing is you always want to be filing in one direction, you know, from left to right. You never want to be going back and forth. So I'm just going to gently try to remember to do that. Is it easier to cut from this side? Let's try this way. Pardon me. Okay. Ooh. Okay, that's pretty good. Now again on this side, holding the knife away from the foot itself and applying the pressure diagonally away as well. There we go, we went through. And last but not least, might flip this one over actually. It's this one. So just going like this. There we go, and we're through. Stick the sprue aside for a second. Okay, let's get these pieces off. Both of these feet are flat, because you can see there's no grooves at the bottom of the boot. So let's cut these off. Blade flat against the bottom of the foot, cutting straight downwards. There we are. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do some filing on that, because even though I put the blade flat, sometimes I guess it's not quite secure. It's a bit wobbly in this particular hobby knife. I mean, I just brought aside just a random brand for just to show that I had the cutting blade. Right, let's get that little fleck there. I mean, I can see quite well, but I'm worried that the lighting's not going to be just as good as I want it to be, especially when I get my my hands in front of the piece. Ooh. Joggy. Sorry about that. We'll edit that out in post. Lol. Okay. There we go. That seems to be pretty good and flat. Right, let's get this hip segment sorted. Cutting straight down this way. Oh, there we are. And yeah, we're pretty good at the top there. Right, I'm going to do the filing later though, for sure. And YouTube's being really annoying with the playlist playing. Yes, I'm still here. Yes, you can still keep playing. Right, let's get the next segment of leg. We're going to do this one. Number 1, I think it's called. Legs number 1. Move all these pieces out of the way. Alright, there we are. Oh, and we're through. Just gently move the knife out of the way there. Gonna cut away from everything, obviously. And there we are, we're through. There we are, all the way through. Right. Well, those are really big chunks of sprue coming through. But I'd rather have more sprue than accidentally cut into the model. You know, you don't want to accidentally mess up your mold, the miniature itself. You know. So blade flat against the foot, and we're cutting straight down. There we are. I'm gonna do it from this side this time. There we are. Okay, that seems pretty good. Right, next piece. We got how many legs have we got here? We got one, two, three, four, five sets of legs. Ready to go. Let's get the last 3 out. I think the first guy that I'm going to build as well later on is going to be this heavy rocket launcher guy, so that at least that is out of the way. I want to have a sort of pose where his legs look like he's bracing before the rocket inertia jets away. So I'm going to have to choose a pose for his feet, which looks like it's kind of braced, you know? I'm quite excited about that. I'm having a look at all the other pieces and planning out, generally speaking, what is best. Right, just gonna get that piece out. Come on, get through it. There we are. We're going quite deep into the corner of the mat here. Most of the lines are in this corner. I think the knife is getting bent, but fortunately I can snap this bit off and choose the next segment when it gets a little bit too blunt, I suppose, but I don't think plastic's going to be able to make this knife too blunt too soon. Alright, let's get those chunks off. As you can see here, the details of the bottom of the feet here, this foot here has grooves because the foot is slightly raised. He's only standing on his toes per se. The back of the foot is raised, kind of in a pre-movement sort of pose, I suppose you could say. Right, there we are. That cut away really easily. I'm going to cut this one this way, just so that there's no blade next to the other piece. Oh, I feel like I have to burp. Alright, excuse me. Alright, let's get this piece in a really, really good pose. There we are, that came away quite well. Right, let's get this segment off the hips, or the top of the hips. There we are, that came away really well. Alright, 6 legs. Now let's get 7 and 8 out. These two on the bottom here. So we're just going to cut here. Very nice. Did that go all the way through? Yes, it did. Alright, and this side. Come on, today. Get through, get through, get through, get through. Darn it. I think this knife is becoming a little bit blunt. The only thing I've been using it for is to cut all these plastic pieces out. So I guess that's why clippers are so much more handier. You know, knives are great, but this one is getting a little bit frayed. Anyways, let's get the rest of this piece out. We need to get this foot loose. Oh, move the legs a bit out of the way. Get them next to the models over there. I got the hips and I got this foot out, so I just need to get that last foot out. Alright, there we go. There we are. Very good. And I'm gonna right now straight away just cut the last one out as well, rather than just. And then we're gonna clean them up. I'm gonna get them ready to. Let's draw the blade back a bit. So I was worried that I just cut into this piece, but fortunately the guard of the blade here touched the model, so be very, very careful. Don't be impatient like I was. Nearly ruined, I might have cut off his foot if I hadn't been lucky. Alright, all the leg pieces are gone now finally, as you can see, an empty sprue. Let's stick that back in the box and get these extra chunks off from the foot. In this case, the foot is flat, so I'm just going to cut along the flat side, keeping the blade as close to the flat side of the foot as I can. So move this aside, and here we are. Cut that away. Dum 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 dum. Dun dun. This is quite finicky when you're wearing gloves. Just cutting along the flat side, bottom side. Alright, let's get this side going. Okay, and just gonna cut. Look at that, perfect. Really pleased with that. Really pleased with that. Going to do some filing in a minute. But for now, let's get this guy cleaned up. More sprue chunks off of him. And then we're going to do some filing to get rid of the mold lines as well. Oh, golly. Okay. Let's get this chunk off the hip. Flip this over. There we go. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Okay, there we go. Nice and clean cut. Alright, let's safely put this knife away. Don't need this for a while. Put this aside. And let's zoom out. Do, do, do. Get a better view of all the models thus far. Just going to see if we need any of these. I'm going to keep some of these chunks around just to use as graveling. Okay. I'm going to put those away in a box later. I'm going to use that as sort of thicker gravel on our bases when we start to build those. Paint them up as well a little bit later. Right. Help me a bit. Get this piece up. Oh, that's what I can do. Stick it over here. Lift it up. Oh my god, this is ridiculous. Come back, knife. Haha. There we are. So, base number 1. Let's see how it fits. Generally speaking, pretty good. But I need to file down the side because there's a little bit of not getting stuck there. I really do feel like the lighting today is a little bit off. So I'm going to adjust this a bit. Making sure it's, you know, a bit brighter. Right. Let's have a look, see. Let's try to see if we can get rid of some of those mold lines as well. I wonder if it's better if I'm zoomed in while I'm doing the mold filing. There we go. Okay. It's quite a good view. So as you can see, in the glow of the light there we are. There's a slight mold line just near going from the corner of the knee there to along to the seal, the prayer seal. So I'm just going to gently file away at it, trying to be careful not to get the knee per se. Oop. Light has shifted a little bit when I get close. Don't want to do it too much so that it gets ruined. That seems alright. Let's get one of the other ones, and the thinner, narrow ones. So I've got various shapes. Some of them are kind of square shaped, and then the following one's like triangular shaped, so you can really get into all the nooks and crannies and the grooves of all the pieces that you need. So let's grab the legs again, and I want to try to get up between these two pieces here, so I'm just going to gently file down this side here. Don't seem to be grabbing focus if I'm not being careful. Okay, seems to be a lot browner today when I look at the lights. Let's lift it back up a touch. There we are. Get the light away as much. Now the top isn't that big of a deal, but I mean we can give it a go. I'm trying to basically go in one direction, lift up, come back. So it's like this sort of round circular motion. Generally speaking. I'm only filing in one direction, not going back and forth over and over the same place. Kind of, I hope that that's good I guess practice for filing, going along one direction, lifting up, coming back, and then kind of doing like a circular motion. So that's pretty nice and smooth. Let's see, the inner thighs and the inner shins, do they need a little bit of work? I see some there, but I just want to make sure I'm getting the right angle for it. And holding the piece steady is also the other question. Poking my own finger right now, but it's more important to get the mold right. Don't know if that's coming through. So just trying to get the mold line on the inner shin there. Alright. Seems pretty good. Now I'm doing the whole back and forth thing. Just to see the difference, kind of what it is. I hope I haven't done too much filing as well. That's the other thing that I was very concerned about, like over filing, so that you damage the model, make it look worse per se. Right, why not? Is that focusing? There we go. So we got rid of the mold line there. I hope I'm doing it well. But I guess we'll have to see the result later on. I have been taking notes about what I've been doing per se, like the direction of gluing and the way I apply pressure to particular pieces. For instance, when it comes to shoulders, I hold one shoulder and push with the other one, and I'm pushing so that the pressure is going sideways from one shoulder to another. Those sorts of notes, when I've said it, I was thinking, that's actually really useful information. And later on, when I make a full video sort of build guide, I'm gonna do my damnedest to make sure those sorts of things come quite clearly. I've been working on editing the first 2 or 3 videos that I made, and quite pleased with the result at the moment. So when this series is sort of halfway done, or I guess when the build phase of all these models, and I'll do a summary and just summarize some of the best tips for first time building and gluing, and some of the tips for you know, how to glue safely, what positions to use per se to do it the best, what gate I got the best results of, and what I felt I got wrong and could have done better, and pitfalls to avoid, things like that. Most of it's to do with just avoid getting your glue on your fingers and wasting glue or letting it dry. I think the glue's the biggest damaging factor of it all. So let's put this over there. Anything on the right hand side is ready to go, because right is right. Yeah, I didn't file down any of the other ones. So I'm just going to file the flat side of the foot, just to make sure it's, you know, it can attach the base evenly, because otherwise half the foot will, well, the tip of the foot where the remaining mold is, or the mold lines are, where it hasn't been filed down, will be the only area where it's attached, and then the rest of the foot is kind of just stuck in the middle of the air. We do not want that. Right. Let's have a look-see here. Along the seal, I don't think I want to risk doing anything. Let's get this pointy file. And just on the top of the seal, we're just going to get rid of some of those mold lines. And we're going to do some of this here as well. I do hope it's looking nice on the camera as I'm doing that. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Slowly getting rid of those mold lines. The music's run out again, so let's put that on play again. Third time's the charm. I hope the music's not distracting per se. Okay. There we go. I'm considering making a sort of a time-lapse, sped up version of the videos as well, because I found the speed up segment of my editing software, and I'm quite keen on showing each step, I suppose, sped up. Alright, that looks pretty good. Well, as good as I can make it. Anyway. I'm curious to see how it's going to look when it's actually painted over. I wonder if that's bad. Bad or good mold lines removal. Let's get the inner thighs done. And the inner shin armor. So I was keeping track of the news in relation to Games Workshop directly, and most of the stores are opening up. Oh well, the web store is available again, and yesterday I mentioned that some of the stores in the Netherlands and Scandinavia are once again opening for business. So you can go in there, pick up what you need, and you know, get out, I guess. I don't think they're going to allow more than 5 people in each store, and you're probably going to have to keep a distance from each client. Must keep a distance from another client. Aside from that, the staff are probably just going to be, I don't know, one near the counters and one on the shop floor. I think everyone's going to have to wear gloves and masks and whatnot. And that's definitely something that I would recommend. Wear some gloves. and some masks when you're out and about. Make sure you get the right information about these stats and statistics about what equipment works and what doesn't. Try to get a official source information, and use some common sense. Stay safe, team. Just stay safe, team. Alright, that seems pretty good. Right side, ready to go. Let's get another one. Alright, what's this guy need? He needs his toes. Needs a bit of work on his toes. More lines removal. Let's crack on. That seems pretty good. One handy thing is I'm able to immediately wipe away dust and excess like this with hands like these. I want to be really careful not to damage any of the detail. So just going to very gently realize where I am when I'm cutting everything. I'm sorry, filing everything. Okay, look at that. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, this is going pretty well. Lots of fun. It's slow, meticulous work, to be honest. But still leading up to something really, really great. I cannot wait to start doing some of the paint work, and then after the paint phase is done, I cannot wait to start doing little skirmishes and stuff like that. We'll try to see if we can get Mrs. Proxy involved in the skirmishes. What else we got here? I think it could also be a fantastic thing to do most Friday weekends. I mean, I'm not big on board games and puzzles. I do enjoy the odd building of Lego sets for Proxy Junior and Proxy 2, I guess I could say. Proxy 1 and 2. My kids. So, they enjoy Lego. The Proxy baby not so much, obviously. Right now he's too small to enjoy and understand Lego. So he's not allowed anywhere near those pieces. And we always try to keep him with, I think the baby brand of Lego is called Duplo or something like that. Duplo. The big chunky pieces which, babies can't do anything with, fortunately. So this little 10-month baby Proxy, he gets his big chunky Lego, and Proxy 1 gets to play with Lego Batman and Lego Spider-Man and Lego Marvel. So that's lots of fun, building that stuff. But think this could be something to transition the boys into when they're a little bit older. I think I'm probably going to keep the details of the chaos and universe of Warhammer itself. I think the storyline is something that I'm going to skip over for a while, because let's be honest, it's quite a dark universe. You know, in the future there is only war. But I think getting the kids involved, getting them interested in wargaming is definitely something that I want to be doing. So having these guys ready to go, then I can split them up. And obviously when the Dark Imperium set arrives, I'm going to start working on those as well to build the Plague Marines army. And get the rest of the Ultramarines also. Really excited about those guys. I think most of them are going to be in Primaris armor as well, which is something I'm quite keen about. Let's try to keep this in the middle of the lens. So that's something to look forward to. Seems pretty good. Top's done. Let's check the toes. As a first time miniature builder, this doesn't seem that bad, but I do genuinely hope I'm doing it right. You never know, the instruction manual isn't that detailed. So I think that's one of the other things I'm going to try to combat, is try to take some of the uncertainty out of it. Because the instruction manual, honestly, you can only see the corner of the page here, in the top right corner of the screen, but the instruction manual, it gives you arrows and stuff like that, but it's lacking in some of the finer things. You want to know what things to file down and stuff like that, and it's not 100% ideal. I think I just heard baby Proxy on the baby monitor. I'm gonna have to keep an ear out for that. And if I have to step away to go check on him and comfort him, I might have to do that as well. Might pause the video, or you know, just leave the video running but edit it out in post. I haven't done a lot of editing of the videos that I put up already. Kind of like the raw footage, just whatever's out there is out there, you know. Not too keen on doing too much editing. Just, I think I'll let the product stand for what it is. Just leave it raw footage. No rehearsal, no script, just pure proxy, as it were. Alright, let's get the inner thighs. I think we still need to do that thigh a bit. It's not really that easy to see. It's really meticulous and well, not tedious, but very finicky work. You need to be very, very patient and accurate for it. So that's not something for you guys to be able to do if you don't find it fun to do finicky and a lot of patience work. You just need to be careful. yeah, if you find it too much work to do this stuff, you're gonna probably be very, very disappointed. I think the policy for Games Workshop products is as well, if the things have been removed from the sprue, then it cannot be returned. That's kind of half the battle. Correct me if I'm wrong on that fact. I'm not certain if that is a fact. So please do correct me. That was just me speculating, but I think the returns policy for most Games Workshop products is if it's been removed from the sprue, or any of the miniature molds have been seems as they've been played with or painted on or anything, then the product cannot be returned, I think. Of course, you gotta check that. The top of the hips here are pretty easy to do. I get the thighs, the side of the thighs done there. They said get rid of the mold lines. Why didn't they didn't say anything about. Maybe I'm using the wrong type of file. Maybe what the file I'm using is just too for metal or something and not plastic. Never be certain. When you're a new first time builder of miniatures. Okay, inner thighs. What's that shining on the screen? Okay, this is done. How did your guys' Friday go? That's a good question to ask, I suppose. Did you guys have a nice week? I mean, a lot of people are in lockdown and working from lockdown and such, but any of you guys still going to work? I'm still going to work. My company's taking extra measures to obviously keep people safe and whatnot. We're not in a full lockdown in that sense. And it's business as usual as an engineer. I'm needed to maintain, I guess you could say, my product. Permanent maintenance is required. And I fall in a sector where things need to carry on. Otherwise the world falls apart. No, I'm joking, it's not that serious, but still, weekly maintenance is required, and as an engineer of my particular product, I have to be there on call regardless. Just going to do that. Just get all the lines to go one way. Then we're going to come back to it from the other side. Kind of file the toes down, I guess you could say. I do love this music. This song is by Geographer and it's called Sky Skating. Crazily enough, I think with all the schools being closed, I've seen a fair few kids rollerblading around and skating around and biking around, you know. It's nice to see that even in a lockdown, kids are still playing to an extent. It's nice to see them get out and about. Obviously my son, Proxy 1, he gets to cycle around, but we've got quite a large private driveway, so he's got plenty of room to run around. Okay, I'm pleased with that piece. We only have another 3 to go, so let's try to do this as carefully and as quickly as possible. Bless you to Mrs. Proxy. And a third time's the charm. Hay fever, I assume. If this channel takes off, I'll try to see if I can wrangle Mrs. Proxy into doing some videos and bits and bobs. Because I've seen some other channels for Warhammer which I really like. And the guy gets his girlfriend on to kind of judge his grey pile. His pile of shame, which he's just accumulated and not done anything with. I thoroughly enjoyed those videos, and if any of you guys are Warhammer channels fans, I think you may well know which ones I'm on about. And they're a fantastic, funny couple, and his girlfriend helps out with doing some of the voiceover bits, tips and such for doing paint. Right, this foot seems pretty good. Let's get the thigh file down, get rid of these more lines. Just gonna make sure I stay between there because that's actually a bolt at the corner there that we don't want to damage. Okay, let's get these in between bits. I'm really pleased that this file has finally arrived. I hope that they're good ones to be using on plastic. I'm a little bit worried that all that abrasive sort of look is not going to come out looking too great when it's painted. But B, it's really good that I can get these between these like these little bits. I mean, these pieces are smaller than a 50p piece, you know, that I'm holding in my fingers for scale, and definitely smaller than a 20-cent euro piece. Oh, we're coming up to an hour, so let's round these pieces off, and I'm going to start gluing them to the bases. And what I'll do is I will record myself cutting the chest pieces out and filing them down. If this video has been a little bit more boring than normal, I do apologize. It's hard to make filing and cutting things interesting, but I did want to document each phase step by step, you know, cutting them out of the sprue all the way through to completing the build. So tomorrow I will cut out all of the rest of the body and chest plates and breastplates and make sure they're ready to go. I'll also file them down, but I think what I'll do is How many of them are there? Right. We've got a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 left in here, obviously, because there's 8 more Marines. That makes sense. We had 8 legs, so 8 more breastplates. So tomorrow what I'll do is I will cut out 7 of them, file down 7 of them, and have these ready to go. And 1 I will do on camera, and then the rest will be prepared prior to the camera going on. Because obviously if you've seen one of them, you've seen them all, so you don't need to see me cutting them all up. So for the next video, expect to see these all out, ready to go, except for one of them, which I'll do on camera. So you guys can get to see that at least. Because I think repeating the same steps 8 times will probably be a little bit boring to see. So I will try to make sure that you guys get to see at least one of them, and that should do the trick. Okay, this guy's good to go. So that's 6. Let's get the last 2, unless they're already pre-done. Nope, of course not. I forgot to do them. Right, I'm just going to file this direction, getting all the excess to head towards the toes, and then we're going to round off the toes. This one's been done pretty well. Okay. Feet are good. Oh, I must have cut those really well. And now I'm just going to round off the toes by going around them thusly. Make sure not to go into the other foot there. Let's go this direction so it's actually filing away from the other leg. Yeah. Okay. I don't enjoy this song, I'm going to skip it. Let's see. Okay, let's round off the toes. Try this side. Did I leave the TV on all that time? I think I just heard it turn off automatically. I was watching some Stargate SG-1. I'm doing a full rerun of the series. I love that series. Honestly, one of the best shows in the 90s and early 2000s ever to be on TV. And I think MGM is going to rue the day that they stopped it or cancelled it or whatever they did. Stargate SG-1 was amazing, and then Stargate Atlantis was amazing, and then they had Stargate Universe, which they cancelled Stargate Atlantis in order to start Stargate Universe, and Stargate Universe was an abject flop in comparison. I think they just tried to do the whole teenage drama, teenage angst thing. That just does not work, honestly, in a sci-fi setting of the Stargate universe. It just kind of alienated the people who had been long-time fans of Stargate, and the people who were into sci-fi were just like, nah, this isn't for me. And the ratings plummeted, and that show failed after 2 seasons, I think it was. I mean, it had some epic concepts, but it just did not have the same sort of traction and gravitas and depth that Stargate SG-1 and Stargate Atlantis had. So I think Stargate Universe was a definite flop in comparison to... Yeah, Stargate Universe definitely was a flop in comparison to Stargate SG-1 and Atlantis. Currently I'm on Season 2. I've watched the whole of Season 1 of Stargate SG-1, and when chronologically we get to the point where Stargate Atlantis and Stargate SG-1 are running concurrently with each other, I think I will start filtering in episodes of Stargate Stargate Atlantis concurrently with Stargate SG-1. I think there must be like a watch order so you can get it all chronologically. Because similar to the Marvel Universe watch order, you know, I want to watch Stargate Atlantis and Stargate SG-1 again, but make sure I'm doing it so that it all kind of fits together, because there are stories that kind of just a touch overlap. It's always interesting to have the characters connect, even if they're in the Pegasus Galaxy or the Milky Way. Okay, this one's ready to go, I think. Side filed. Yep. Inner thighs filed. Let's just pull away some more of that dust. This is good to go. And the final legs. I honestly didn't anticipate it taking a whole hour to do this. What is the time? We've come up to about an hour and 7 minutes. What do you guys think? Should I carry on for another 15 minutes or so? Try to see if we can glue the bases down today. I kind of feel like doing that, yeah. Well, I think I'll take a short break to have a drink. And I might even put a drink next to me. But then I think I'm going to carry on. Stop mid-sentence there. What I was meaning to say was I will get a drink and drink the drink so that I can wet the whistle a little bit. And then we will carry on after that. I have a habit of doing that, don't I? Stopping in the middle of my sentence and start thinking rather than speaking. Sorry about that. I'll try to kick that habit. I think Mrs. Proxy finds it quite annoying as well. I get lost in thought, thinking about schematics and whatnot. Okay. I think we managed to get enough plastic dust into this file in one day. That's pretty good. Stay on the top side of this. Feet were really nicely done. Okay. That was a long sigh. think we spoke a bit about it yesterday as well, but I'm glad to know that the Games Workshop stores are being resupplied. So the web store is back online as well. You can once again start ordering things and such. They're going to start sending out stock soon, TM. And the other thing is the website's online, and the stores in Scandinavia and the Netherlands at least are open again. If you're anywhere in the Netherlands or Scandinavia, so congrats to you guys. But I think the stores here are still going to be closed for a while. Lucky gits over in the Netherlands. I wonder how many stores there are in the Netherlands. The Netherlands isn't that big a country. I guess they've got one in the capital. Must do. Most Warhammer stores are at least in the capital first, and then they spread out from there. So I know that Germany has lots of stores, because Germans are quite keen on the Warhammer universe, which is really, really nice to hear. So guten Tag to any of my German viewers or future German viewers. Oh, look at all the dust that's accumulated there. Give myself a bit of a stretch. Oh, let's do a zoom out. So we've got all the legs filed down and tidy. Right. Let's take all the bases. Where are the bases? I had one here. I've got one over here. So that's 3. I think I had the bag here somewhere, didn't I? Oh, there it is. All the way in the back. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, we've got some extra bases, I think. We've got 6, 7, and we've got 2 extra bases. Oh my god, Games Workshop, you guys are really, really kind. So let's have a look. 1. Just making sure that's in shot. Yeah, that is good. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, and 8. So we do have 2 extra bases. That's great. We can use that sometime in the future. If for some dastardly reason any of these guys, any of the boxes don't have a base for some reason, I will obviously have 2 spare. That's great. Thanks a lot, Games Workshop. Really appreciate that. So yeah. So now we're going to get some gloves on top of our hands, and we're just going to glue these bad boys down. I think I'll skip out on the drink rather than keep you guys waiting. I think I could get this gluing segment done quite quickly. So let's grab some gloves to cover our hands. I'm going to put the sprues back into the box. The other day I actually uploaded a video with the word sprue in the title, and annoyingly my phone auto-corrected sprue to spree to edit the name of the video halfway through its upload. Oh no, I had to wait for it to be completely uploaded, and then I had to edit the name after it was uploaded because it wasn't accepting a name change while the video was uploading. So let's get the glove on. I think you can find most of these gloves in the cleaning aisle, by the way. I'm just using what is it, a box of M3M cleaning gloves. What are they called? Yeah, just a regular box of cleaning gloves. So you can probably find these in your local store in the cleaning aisle. Just have a look there, and there you go. Okay, let's get some of these guys glued down. Gonna make sure that the piece that I'm using is let's move the guys back, and we'll move them over here, Anyone that's glued, it's just going to move to the top left corner. So apply the glue on the bottom. On the feet where, let's get a zoom in going. Ooh. Zoom in isn't working. Oh, there we go. Zoom out a touch. Just keep it at 2. So as you can see here, let's get the light on there. Yeah. So this foot is just flat with no grooves on it. You want to glue all of that up. But on this foot here, you want to make sure you only put the glue on this half of the foot where the toes are, because the heel is actually going to be lifted up. Can you see that? So you don't want to apply any glue on the slanted area where there are grooves in the, the bottom of the foot, or grooves in the bottom of the foot. Just apply glue here and apply glue there and then leave it. So let's get our glue. I'm going to zoom back out a touch. Come on, zoom out. It's not working with me. There we go. Just going to leave the zoom there, so it's not all the way zoomed out. Let's move our files away. Taking our glue, just going to apply it here. So I'm using my own eyes. I'm not looking at the camera at the moment, so I can't tell if this is in focus for you guys. But I think it's clear enough to tell what exactly needs to be done. So we're just going to apply glue to this bottom side. I think the glossiness is visible there. And now let's apply some glue to the tip of this toe, but we're only applying it to this half of the foot, avoiding the grooved areas. There we go. Okay, putting the glue down. Let's put this boy on the base, and I'm going to put most of the pressure on the flat foot, not the foot with the raised heel. So just putting him there. Just applying most of the pressure on the left hand side, leaving that to dry. It's applied quite quickly. Just going to put that aside and we're going to go to the next one. See what's this set up. 2 flat feet, nothing to worry about there, so this will be quite easy and quick. Oh, I don't want to be doing that. I need to clean off this tip of that glue. Okay. There we go. The glossiness visible there. If I flip it that way. Alright, I'm just going to apply the glue on this foot as well. Rotate it a touch so you can see the glossiness of the glue. Now, because these feet are both flat, I'm just going to apply the pressure top bottom evenly. Just push it down quite hard, as hard as you can muster. Really get that in there. And these legs, which they've got flat feet, as you can see, you can wiggle it about a little bit just to make sure that the glue really gets into the surface of these bases, because as you can see, is that detailed enough? Yeah, there you go. You can see that it's got a sort of rough surface. It's not flat like this side is. I mean, it's got numbers, but generally speaking, it's really flat and plain. This side has a sort of texture to it, so you want to make sure that the glue really gets into all the little grooves when you're pushing it down and wiggling the pieces about on top. But obviously be very careful not to do it not to wiggle the legs or shake or rotate the legs, especially if they've got feet where one foot's got the grooves with the heel being raised and the toe being flat. So on these ones, just be very, very careful. You don't want to end up having it glued so this foot is flat and his toes are raised. That would just look silly. So be very, very careful how you apply the glue, and be very, very careful how much you try to shake or rotate or move the miniature legs as they're attached to the base. So I'm just going to give you guys a view of the glossiness by reflecting the glue in the light. Now his right leg is more flat, so I'm going to apply most of the pressure on that foot Just be careful not to let the raised heel get any glue on it. Just going to push that down. Pushing intensifies. Don't want to be too crazy and accidentally ruin my model. But as you can see there, the heel is still raised. The glue's really in there. I'm really, really pleased with that. Next one. I find that applying the glue on this is better for now. But in the future, if I realize that all the miniatures are coming off the bases, then that means I did not use enough glue. And I will have to revisit the idea of only applying glue on this side of the foot rather than applying two big globs to the base. So once again, we have legs which are flat-footed, so we don't have to worry about too much. You can just place them generally in the middle of the base, push the pressure down, give it a good sort of left and right shake to make sure the glue gets into all the crevices of the rough surface of the base. Pushing intensifies. Right, that's 4 of them. This one's got a couple of flakes of sprue dust on there. Get that off. And he's dropped it again, so let's do that again. The texture of these rubber gloves is helps a bit. So we've got 2 more flat-footed, another set of flat-footed legs and feet. Just going to apply some more glue here. I do hope I'm not using too little or too much, but this is all a learning thing and we're doing it together. So let's rotate that guy a bit so you can see the glossiness of the glue. And now push this down. I'm going to put the glue down and I'm going to start playing the music again. Yes. There we are. Pushing this down. I'm going to give it a bit of a wiggle to push the glue into all the crevices. And that's come together really, really quickly. This super glue works quite quick. Very, very pleased with that. I think it's just called simple hobby glue, which you can get from most arts and craft, or maybe in the post office. Right, Games Workshop 2013. I wonder if this was made all the way in 2013. I don't think I've ever shown you guys that. The bottom of the base has some writing in it. Games Workshop 2013. The serial number and 40. I guess 40 might be the measurement of the. No, it can't be, because it comes up to 3 centimeters in what is that? Circumference. Let's make sure there's no sprue dust on this side. Okay, we got we got 3 legs there, two over there and 1 over here. Gotta be careful. Okay, another one on flat-footed one, so this will be nice and quick. Alright, that's done. Glued on this side as well. Okay, there you go, you can see the glossiness. So this one again, just going to push from top to bottom, get somewhere in the middle. There we go. Tip of this finger is quite annoying. Pull the glove all the way up. Right, seems pretty good. This one, I'm trying to think which one I'm going to use as a sort of pose for the rocket launcher guy. This looks pretty good. He seems to be quite braced here. The rest I think I'm going to have as a... Yeah, this guy looks like the best one for the rocket launcher to me. Because it looks like he's got 1 leg forward, 1 back leg a bit sort of turned to the side with the 45-degree angle. You know, that's a fighting pose in most combat sports. So I think that's quite good. Quite well braced. This one's got a raised foot at the back and the other one's also got a raised foot at the back. So these are just going to be half on this foot and glue completely on this foot. Let's get that done. And we're going to round off this video tonight knowing that we've completed the bottom half of all of our tactical squad. We can make a rocket launcher guy tomorrow, and you know, maybe even get like the special melter gun guy ready to go as well. Right, so this one I'm going to apply most of the pressure on his right foot. There we go. Pushing downwards. Oh, so this glue just dries so quickly, it's crazy. Yep. Quite pleased. There we go. What do we have here? Okay. The last bit of gluing is, I'm going to make sure most of the pressure is on the right foot. There we go. Wiggle it a bit, just very gently. Make sure that the other raised heel doesn't get pushed into the base. There we are. There we have it. All of the miniatures, legs at least, are nice and tidy. We filed down the mold lines, and it looks ready to go. Right, there we are. Tomorrow we're going to carry on. I'm going to try to do some of the prep and filing